Guess what, Hurst Hills Falcons? We got more books that came in. 28 new books added to the collection today, so let's talk about them real quick. Let's start with some nonfiction. I know that you guys are a fan of those junior biographies that we've had, so how about we add Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther himself? I know that's an exciting one. People will be lining up for that. We added a book of poetry called One Last Word by Nikki Grimes, and this is poems from the Harlem Renaissance, and she takes poems written by Harlem Renaissance poets and then recreates her own poems using a method called the golden shovel technique, which is a really cool technique that I'm going to talk to you guys about next week in class. We got a nonfiction book called Just a Girl, A True Story of World War II by Leah Levi. We added, now we're going into fiction a little bit, a couple more of the Enola Holmes books that you guys have been enjoying so much. We've got book number 1, The Case of the Missing Marquess, and we've got book number 5, The Case of the Cryptic Crinoline. So we've added those two Enola Holmes books. We have, this is a Sidney Taylor Award winner for Jewish literature reflecting the Jewish culture, and this is Aviva versus the Dybbuk. We've got a short story collection in the Rick Riordan world called The Cursed Carnival and Other Calamities. So this has a bunch of short stories about mythic heroes by Carlos Hernandez, Roshani Chokshi, J.C. Cervantes, Yoon Ha-Lee, Kwame Mbalia, Rebecca Roanhorse, Taylor Key Mejia, Sarwat Chadi, Gracie Kim, and Rick Riordan. So this is all the characters that you're used to from like the Percy Jackson world and all those other mythological worlds in the Rick Riordan Presents books. So that's a fun one. We were missing a book from a series, so we added book 4 to the Septimus Heap series called Quests. We were missing the book Countdown by Deborah Wiles, which is part of a trilogy, so we added that. We've added, this is a Stonewall Award-winning book called In the Key of Us. We've got, there's another Sidney Taylor about Jewish writing. This is Ellen Outside the Lines. And now we're going to talk about, we got a couple new books in Spanish. This one will be coming in English as well. We don't have it yet, but Ibeliz lo explica todo by Andrea Beatriz Arango. Please forgive any mispronunciations. And we added this wonderful Pure Belpre Honor Award-winning book, Los Coquis Aun Cantan. And then we added the English version of that book as well, The Coquis Still Sing. So now we're going to get into our picture books and everybody books. So we've got Gigi and Oigi, and again, forgive me if I'm, Gigi and Ogigi, What's in a Name? Forgive me for any mispronunciations. Many of these are award winners. This one is one I just love, Valen Slime. This is the sequel to Frankenslime, which we got earlier this year. I'm going to mispronounce this one too. This is Kapai Mahu, another Stonewall Award-winning book. And this book is written, this is kind of a fun book. It's written in both Hawaiian and English, which is kind of fun. We've got From the Tops of Trees. We've got In the Blue, and this is a Schneider Family Book Award honor book. So, excuse me, I wanted to make sure I got that right. Schneider Family Honor Book. So these books deal primarily with people who are dealing with disability. So that's exciting. We got Night Owl. And the Caldecott Award winner, Hot Dog. We also got a graphic novel that is a Theodore Seuss Geisel Award-winning book called I Did It by Michael Emberley. This is a graphic novel, but it's a little bit easier to read than some others. Speaking of graphic novels, now we're transitioning into our graphic novels. So we got the first volume, which we've got the second, but we couldn't get the first earlier, of the Enola Holmes graphic novels. This one includes The Case of the Missing Marquess, The Left-Handed Lady, and The Bizarre Bouquets. So it's a graphic novel adaptation of 3 books. We got Dan Sontatt's The Aquanauts. We got, and this is a really interesting one, and it's a nonfiction, Big Ideas That Change the World, A Shot in the Arm, A History of Vaccines, including COVID-19. So we have a graphic novel version of that. Frizzy, now this one we already had, but it got so loved on, it already fell apart. So we bought another one, and Please Be Gentle. But this is a really loved book. And the last 2 books, too, I'm very excited to tell you about are, we didn't have any of this. I couldn't believe we didn't have any of this, and I was like, we got to have this in the library. The Indispensable Calvin and Hobbes and The Essential Calvin and Hobbes. Now, Calvin and Hobbes is how my son learned to love reading. I personally grew up reading them and love them, and I think you're going to love them too. So I'm excited for y'all to check these out.